I was getting plane tickets and that whole thing happened. Do what?
Admit everyone.
I am, but why is your arm up in my corner?
It's like I do this. Grand Rising, everyone. You're gonna,
Hello,
you,
hello, 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 hello. You enabled it.
yeah, that's good.
That means it's gonna follow you.
It'll follow me, but it's gonna be in frame for you.
Interesting. Okay, I will start the call.
And I will admit people.
Happy Wednesday. It's October 30th, you guys. I cannot believe the year is almost over. Um, I don't know about you guys, but I typically don't set New Year's goals. I don't because I feel like a New Year's goal is something that you set and it's short term and you have a lot of momentum and fire. And then sometimes it just kind of like drops off, right? So I like to set daily goals and life goals, you know?
Welcome back to Fire Hour. Today's episode, we're gonna talk about speed. And so this actually pertains to what you're talking about,
Is it?
goals.
Is
Yeah.
that what we're going over?
Yeah. Last week. So last episode we talked about this episode gonna be about speed. So
Did we?
yes. Okay, so continuing momentum and being able to, really it's like what you said. Like
Mm,
it's like what you said though. The goals, like it's about hitting your like it's about setting your goals and aligning yourself with that. And it just so happens to be that, there's 2 months left of the year. So this is actually a little bit behind in my opinion, but every single quarter you should be like a quarter ahead. Especially as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a CEO of your business. So when it comes to 2025, this is going to be super important to just get clarity on. And right now, because most people they're going to take like I don't know, this is just my opinion. Most people will decide to take off, November and December, or even December. And so this is your opportunity and chance to get yourself ahead of the game. Okay, and it depends on the level that you're playing, but
wow.
when it
Sorry.
it depends on the level that you're playing, but if you already know better and you already know that, especially as an entrepreneur, like you're going to be doing like your business every single day, no matter what. So it's really important to just be organized, to be planned, and to stay ahead of the game. And that way, whenever there is any type of variable that shows up, you are already prepared. Okay. One thing that I learned from great leaders, people who are extremely successful, and also from war, okay, from history, is all the people that were prepared, okay, they had foresight. They understood that, what is ahead of what's around the corner, what is something that they may see that they can fall into, and then they avoid all these different like pitfalls and mistakes and just variables that they can mitigate. All of the great leaders and successful entrepreneurs, they all focus on one thing, which was attaining foresight. Okay. And what that means to me is if I can predict the future, if I can predict the future and I'm able to see this variable, see this variable, see this variable, see this mistake, see this pitfall, all these different variables, right? And I can just avoid it. I can plan ahead. I can just plan ahead. That's it. It's that simple. Plan ahead for that. Then chances are I'm going to be able to avoid that mistake. Okay. And one thing I learned from my mentor is, mistakes are so costly, right? Mistakes are super costly. Like you make one mistake that can set you back a year, right? It just depends on the mistake. And we want to avoid mistakes at all costs. And when it comes to business, like just on the business side of things, it's everything's data, everything is logical, everything is, there's a reason for everything. And especially depending on the stage that you're at in your business, like you can avoid amateur mistakes and you can avoid things that are just common. Like there's so many people out there that have done certain things, and why do you have to make the mistake that they made as well? Like if you can get the foresight, then you could plan ahead and go around that. Okay, you can cut your learning curve and grow your business exponentially. And so one thing that I see, especially when it comes to November, December, going into the next year is people take their foot off the gas. Okay. People don't double down when this is in fact the time to double down. Okay. If not like 10x their efforts. So that is something that is important. But to tie in like what Crystal was saying, right? The daily goals, it's about having those metrics, having that those milestones that you want to accomplish every single day as well. And the topic of today's episode is going to be on unlocking speed. It's about how can you go faster, right? A question that I proposed to everyone on last week's episode was forget about the hows, forget about how much, forget about what it is, like forget about all the limiting beliefs, like drop all the limiting beliefs. If you had to ask yourself one question in order to unlock speed, it would be, what do you need right now, regardless of the price, regardless of what it is, etc. What do you need right now and today to unlock speed today? Okay, what do you need right now to unlock speed today? And someone said they need a nanny, right? Someone said that you dropped like the Johanna app. Like all these different answers, okay? There's a bunch of answers for yourself, whatever it is for you. Like I encourage every single person, if you truly want to unlock speed, okay, to make a list. Like you should make that list where it unlocks speed, right? For us, like at least for me, when I want to record content, now I have my phone readily. So here's what's cool. I have my phone now. So I have a lot of data that I would like to share. But because I was using my phone to record Fire Hour for a higher quality version versus Zoom, I was always using this. Now that this is unlocked, I can actually share a little bit more data from Instagram, for example. And then I can go deeper into insights that I wanted to share previously, which I haven't shared yet. Right. Same thing with this. Like now we have the HD recording in D-Log. So now the quality of content that we're producing out there is just going to it's going to get closer to the vision that I want to portray out there. Okay. As a content creator, as someone that is building a brand. And so now that camera is set up, everything's recorded. I already have my system in the flow. So I'm unlocking speed and I'm getting closer to my vision, to my goals. So I think that it's super important with this topic is you have to understand where you're going, right? And I'm bouncing everywhere, but I'm gonna make it very simple into 3 pillars. Okay. And I actually had a meeting with our media department for Star Motorworks the other day, and I recorded the entire thing. And it was kind of like the our employee was like, "Hey, this is like a master class," and I was like, "Yeah, it's for you. It's a master class for you and everyone who gets started with the media department because and here's the reason why I recorded it too. I'll explain, but it's because how many times am I going to have to do this meeting with the media department over and over again? Right? How many times, if I keep on onboarding new employees, like how many times do I have to repeat myself? It's going to be however many times I have to keep on repeating myself. So one thing that you mentioned about like great leaders is that leaders are repeaters, right?
Mm-hmm.
The greatest leaders have to continuously repeat themselves before, during, and after until like it actually gets done, until the message gets across, until the message gets embedded in the employee and the staff and the team. And so one thing that I always repeated on Fire Hour season 1, if you weren't there, was if you're first to market, you're first to profit, right? That was one thing. If you're first to believe, like everything happens. It's about belief. It's possible. Like there was so many messages that I shared that it just became mantras. It became embedded into everyone that was there, right? And so then you take that and then you run with it, and so that becomes something completely different. But it's about that. It's about like a leader repeating themselves over and over until the message and vision comes across, and it's like status quo now in someone's mind. And so when it comes to the meeting, the media meeting I had, I recorded the entire thing because I don't want to continuously repeat myself over and over again if I have to be there, manually doing it. Instead, I'm just going to capture content, document it, and then use that as onboarding. So that way, everyone who gets started with us in the media department has a training or a course that they can go through, basically a masterclass, and they can get indoctrinated and onboarded properly the first time. Okay. So when it comes to your business, it's the same exact thing. Every single thing that you have to continuously say, like at least 3 times, it should be recorded and documented. And the reason why, it's because now all you have to do it is edit it one time, unless you make changes, edit it one time, and then have it in some type of online platform where your employees or your team can access. And then from there, boom. Now, every single time you onboard someone, here's an automated process. Here's automation. Okay. The 5 pillars of massive scale helps you unlock speed. The reason why is because it's 5 pillars for a reason. Okay. It's a system. Foundation, system, automation, scale, and exit or expand. Okay. It just depends. There's 7 pillars in total that I have. There's 9 really, but the 5 are the main ones to set your foundation to scale your business properly, right? Scale your business in 90 days to 18 months. Proven, guaranteed, any business. It doesn't matter. As long as you follow the 5 pillars of massive scale, it's game over. Okay. And so that's just one thing. To make it even simpler, right? To unlock speed today, the MOS methodology, right? Marketing, operations, and scale. Okay. Marketing, operations, scale. Any business that gets started with that and just follows that to the T, that just use that methodology. Marketing, operations, scale, you'll scale your business. Okay.
It's a great framework, Sean.
Thank you. I also have something called the Fire Hour framework as well, but that's for another topic. So yeah, there's all these different like frameworks, okay, and that's how you unlock speed, though. Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone here on this call, sooner than later, or you've already been doing this, you will have your own frameworks, unique methodologies that you coin, that you name, and that you term. And the reason for that is because when you start to drop that term, that framework, people automatically can understand what you're talking about. And then they're like, okay, yeah, I got to use that framework. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let me use it right now. You see? So it's the same thing. Today, we're going to talk about a different framework, and this framework is going to be the 7-day cycle, okay? And I need to call it something better than that, but
This is the first time I'm hearing about the 7-day cycle.
no, I've talked about this before. Okay, I've talked about this on
But have you said 7-day cycle?
no, but
Okay.
yeah. Anyways, I figure out a better name. But this right here, this is how every business, okay? This is just from my experience, okay? Every business, if you can use like this 7-day cycle, okay, we can figure out what should we call it? Okay, what should we call this name? Let's figure out the name by the end of this call.
Yeah, I think doing
So
the explanation and then explaining what it is, and then let's just see if we can come up with some catchy names for it.
yeah,
This will be fun.
yeah, and it's important, like it's important to call it a name, okay? Let me just
Yeah.
give you guys a story real quick, okay? So this is the importance of it as well. I'm gonna give you guys another angle, okay? Can you please admit? Here's another angle for it. All right. So in my breaking days, all right, in my competing days, when I used to compete, all right, on the professional level for breaking, and it would be a team. It would even be like 1-on-1 and like 3-on-3 and then crew on crew. Okay. So uh, when it came to practicing, like training with the team, with the crew, all of us would do like different combinations because in breaking, like if you just do like the same moves as everyone else, then like no one's gonna win that competition. No one's gonna win unless like someone was already known as the original person who created that, right? So in breaking, there's a lot of different like elements to it, and one of the elements is like your character and your uniqueness, like your signature moves, right? And when it came to creating signature moves, it was all about like how you did that move and in what sequential order. And so one of the moves I had was called spinneroonie. Spinneroonie, okay? Isn't that a crazy word?
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I've never heard you say that ever.
Aaronetic, my crew member, Kennedy, the one that did he had his students perform at Love Rising. Aaronetic, he was the one that called it that. And the reason why was because one day at a practice, like I think this was in Chula Vista, um, like he was like I did this move. I did like basically I have to explain it, but it's a bunch of different moves, but it's a series of moves where it combines like sweeping moves and like power moves, meaning like my feet are not on the ground and the only things are on the ground is my hands. So everything else is I'm defying gravity basically, or physics or whatever you want to call it. And I do a sequential order, and that's a specific order, and I do it 3 times. Okay. And so he called it spinneroonie. And the reason, yeah, it's called flares, Nico. Thank you. And so the reason why he called it that was because it just looked like that. Like that's what it looked like to him. And so ever since then, we call it spinneroonie. Now, here's the importance of it. Because that name is now associated with the combination, like the actual physical movement and combination, like that is now a framework. Okay. It now becomes something embedded in my mind and my body. And now when we go out into the battle, right, we actually do like crew on crew battle or 1-on-1. if he sees that, you know what, like this move, this specific framework, this specific combination is going to beat the competitor, it's going to gain us points, it's going to wow the crowd, all these things, he would call out that specific framework. So so literally in the middle of my set, right, when I'm going down and I'm performing, right, I'm battling, I'm doing whatever. My mind is everywhere else as well. I'm focused. I'm everywhere, but I have to be aware as well, right? This is part of crew on crew battles. It's part of strategy battle, right? Battle strategy. So he calls out Spinneroonie, and I'm like, oh man, all right, I got to transition and do Spinneroonie. And there's probably a reason why he's saying that, right? Maybe the beat is going to change. Maybe like the way I do it at this certain amount of time is going to land on the beat and it's going to wow the crowd. Like there's all these different things happening at the same time. He calls out that framework. I immediately, in my mind, I'm like, all right, Spinneroonie. I put it into my body. I do the move. Boom. The crowd goes wild. It's like that. That's the importance of having a framework embedded in your mind and your body, because that's a tool. And I'm gonna talk about the three different sets, okay, today. But that is the reason why like those frameworks work. Like even in breaking, like I pull that into breaking, right? And then I pulled that from breaking into business, actually. That I did that. I did the reverse. So when it comes to like these frameworks, whatever it is for you, if you understand that there's a certain pattern that you recognize in business, in your business, and now you can make it a term, you can make it a framework, you can make it a methodology, you could do something where it's like instinctual. You off the bat, like you recognize this pattern, immediately you go to a framework. Boom. Now you unlock speed. Okay. That's the importance of it. It's because you already did something so many times over and over again that you know the best way to do it, right? You just know the best way to do it. And until like technology advances and until like you find something with AI, until you do something different or you find a better way to do it, the best way to do it, like just continue to go back to your frameworks, continue to go back to what is tried and true. Because why would you not do that? It's a mistake. Okay. It's a mistake to try to do another way around if you continue to bounce around when you already know the best way. Okay. Reggie Ann says, like a dance routine. Love the analogy. Yes, exactly. Thank you.
It's like in sports too, like
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
sports, like if there's a certain play that a team has been practicing over and over again, and then the coach is like, this is the play that we're going to do based on what's happening right now. It's like he's not telling each person one by one, like how to do it or what to do. It's just they call it that play, and everyone knows, oh, that play. I know what position or I'm in and what position everyone else is in. So it's frameworks and it becomes instinctual, right? Like there's a methodology to what you do and how you do it and how well you do it, right? So if you're able to explain it in a simple framework or like in a simple, I forgot what that's called, where you have like, like the letters and then you can say the words to the letters and that will like match it.
Acronyms.
Yes, acronyms. Yes. So like if you even have an acronym for a specific strategy that you use and then you train your team on it, then when you use that acronym, everyone's like, oh, okay, that's what it means. And what it means is the word already is pretty self-explanatory. And so you just do that over and over and over again until it becomes instinctual, right? As opposed to like explaining the whole thing all over again. And that's the importance, I guess, of what you're saying. And I never knew really about frameworks until you kept saying the word frameworks, like back in 2020. And I was like, what is that? Because there were things or methodologies that I used in business and I never like had it coined, right? Like I actually never really read as many books, watched as many YouTube videos, or like studied as much. I just did. I was always in the doing. So when I was in the doing, after a while, I was like, there's a better way, there's a faster way. And so until you introduce frameworks to me, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It's kind of like with everything that you do, there's a specific framework to it where you can create an acronym, or it just makes it easier for other people to learn what you're doing without you having to like explain the whole process, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it just, it's just there's so many different like ways to look at it, but whatever way lands for you, like start to apply that because it will unlock speed, okay? It will unlock speed. Jackie says, "Yup, strategy. When you hear it, see it, shift gears and pick up speed." Exactly. Nico says, "Breaking business." Yeah. Breaking business. Jackie says, "You know how to do it. Now learn how to teach it."
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Because once you teach it, it's even better, right? Like, so they say when you're learning something, you learn it, but like you don't really learn it until you have to turn around and teach it, right? So
Exactly.
you learn it, you put it into action, and then you teach it and you watch somebody else do it, right?
Yeah. And that's like actually true, right? It's all of us are students and teachers at the same time, right? And it's Jackie says it's not fun being the only one that knows how. Yeah, exactly. And guess what? Like part of your business, part of the business cycle is going to be exiting, okay? No matter what you are doing. Like you can be in your business as the business operator for the rest of your life. However, when it comes to the end of the life, like what are you going to do? Right? It's going to be important that you teach your wisdom and pass down your experience and knowledge to those who are going to like carry the torch, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like pass on that. So, but obviously we have, we have technology, we have AI, and we have you can record yourself, all these different things, which is super important in my opinion to do. And especially if you are looking to unlock speed, right? If you're gonna have to say something over and over again, right? The best leaders are repeaters. If you're going to say something over and over again, then it's important that because you have so many things happening on your plate, like you gotta start to organize and plan, right? And delegate and make sure that everyone who's on your team that's on board with you, like understands your messaging, understands your vision, understands like, hey, like this is important. This is a framework. This is something that's a methodology. This is something that I can cut my learning curve with. This is something that I can avoid mistakes with. This is all important. Okay. And when it comes to like, because I'm going to share with you another thing too. Like entrepreneurship to me, like one of the aspects of it is options. Okay. It's freedom. It's options, having options. Well, one thing that's a tool is called money. And when you have more money, you actually have more options. And so in a business, like for me, like with Star Motorworks, okay, with Star Motorworks, I want to expand the media team as fast as possible. Okay, the media department as fast as humanly possible because the vision I have for Star Motorworks is huge and it requires more helping hands and more experts. And in order to do that, we just need to make more money. That's literally all it is. Once we make more money, we can immediately hire more people, and then from there, I can immediately start to train them and onboard them on day one, and then I can immediately get closer to the goal and the vision. Okay. So the whole entire goal of, or one of the aspects and milestones that every entrepreneur should accomplish or shoot for at least is make more money, increase your revenue. Okay? Increase your revenue. With increased revenues, it doesn't guarantee increased profits. However, like you should bake that in because that's just part of the game, right? And it's a mistake to avoid if you're not doing that, right? But you want to increase revenue because the more revenue you have, the more options you have. Okay, you unlock more speed. That's literally what happens. It just depends on how you allocate that capital. Okay. So I'm going back to the very first point, right? When I had the media department meeting, okay, I talked about three different things. Okay. Everyone can apply this today. And then we'll go back to the 7-day cycle, which whatever we're going to call that at the end of this episode. So the the first thing, okay, there's three different things that you can apply today. All right. Is your mindset. Okay. So let's write this down. Take notes. And I have this already down, but
Note takers are money makers. That's another thing, right? That's another thing that we always repeat over and over.
yeah.
Note takers are money makers. And the thing is, when you're taking notes and you're using your hand and like using your eyes, you actually remember things a little bit better. It actually, things become a little bit more instinctual when you write things down as opposed to typing things down or trying to memorize it.
Yeah,
So let me
100%.
go get my notes now.
Oh, okay. Nico says teachers are learners while they're teaching too. Exactly. Yeah, we're always learning. Always learning. Always have a student mentality, right? Be coachable, be open to learning. Angela says build your business with meaning. Meaning is truth. Just did a reel on this. People afraid to talk about money. Normalize it and share your perspective. Yes, I 100% agree with that. Um, Perfect. So there's three things that you can apply today, and you've already been doing this, but now like let's have more intention. Okay, let's have more intention and let's like apply this today. And this is all about unlocking speed, okay? Everyone who's working on themselves and is intentionally, being purposeful with what you're doing, being intentionally purposeful with what you're seeing, hearing, surrounding yourself with, everything, okay? Everything matters, all right? At the end of the day, everything is going to matter. And you just never know like what it's going to affect. Okay. So there's three things: mindset, skill set, and tool set. Okay. And I'm going to break it down a little bit further, but your mindset, right? Your mindset, personal development, perspective, perception, belief, systems inside, your frameworks, your philosophy, all these different things pertains to your mindset, right? How you look at one thing, how you look at the other thing, what you take in, how you receive that information, how you learn, right? All these things is mindset, essentially. Okay. I'm just making it simple. Like I know that's not accurate, but I'm just simplifying. Okay. Mindsets. Keep everything simple. Simple scales, fancy fails. Like you can get fancy when you are in the future. And if you already have the expertise and you've been doing it, like you're an expert in that. But let's keep everything simple because simple, like speed is simple. Okay. Simple loves speed. All right. And speed loves simple. Okay. Same thing. All right, so so skill set. Skill set, okay? Your skill set, your skill set is your skills, right? Like
What are you good at? Yeah.
what are you good at? Your strengths, okay? For me, like I know that I can do like I can break. I can break if I had to, if I got called out on the spot, I'm pretty sure as long as I'm not injured, I can get down. Okay, so so I can do that. Skills like entrepreneurship, right? Like business, like strategy, marketing, like those are part of my skills. I can talk about it whenever. I can talk about it to any level of entrepreneur. And that doesn't mean that I know more than them. Like there's nine-figure entrepreneurs who ask me questions, right? They're making $1 billion. They're making $100 million plus. They ask me questions. And I'm like, this person, they make way more money than me, yet they're still a student. They're still
Always.
asking questions.
Yep.
Why does someone who's making over $100 million ask me a question about marketing? Ask me a question about what I think about their business strategy, what I think about what they're doing with the organization. Why are they asking me these questions? It's because it goes back to Sam Walton, okay? Made in America. This is the book. Sam, if you haven't like picked up this book yet, Sam Walton, Made in America, the founder of Walmart, right? Regardless if you like Walmart or not, it doesn't matter. But look at the entrepreneur, the founder. Look at the person that created a huge organization, a huge company, okay? And it's like taking care of his kids, right? And more. So one thing that he did inside his book, or like one thing that he did in his life, is he actually flew to Brazil. And the reason for that was because over there in Brazil, there was a company that wanted to like just learn from him. And instead, like he actually was learning from them. And it's crazy because he would go into like their stores and he would actually be measuring. Like he would be on the ground and measuring like the aisle widths and like to see like do they know something that he doesn't. And he's already successful. Yet he's always still a student. He's applying like these principles of how can I always learn? How can I unlock speed? How can I get better? How can I go better? How can I get the best? Like what can I do? What can I create? Okay? So for you as an entrepreneur, as a leader, because everyone here on Fire Hour is leaders, right? Everyone here, if you have that perspective, an open mind attached to nothing, and you are looking and seeing and observing and analyzing and being a student and seeing like, all right, this person knows something I don't. Let me pick that up. Let me apply that. Let me see how it works. And then you add it into the 7-day cycle, okay, which we're gonna talk about at the second half of this episode. Like you apply that, right? You unlock speed because you're getting data and results faster. Okay. This is something I learned. Like everything is competition, okay, in this world. And that's something that like on a biological standpoint, like that is true, okay, from what I understand. Like maybe I'm incorrect about that, but that's what I understand so far. And so because everything is competition, everything is always about adaptability, right? Everything is always changing, evolving, adapting, pivoting, moving different ways, trending, like, whatever it is, okay? So when it comes to you as a leader adapting, it's about getting information as fast as humanly possible and then applying it right away. Going back to that question that I asked before, what do you need today that will help you go faster? Okay? What's going to help you go faster today? What do you need? Right? Someone said a nanny. Well, reverse engineer it. How much does that nanny cost now? And who do you want to recruit as a nanny, right? It just depends, but you have that data, you got to get it in. Okay. Angela says you got to observe your own life first. Something I wish people understood more. Every day, observe what you can do better and awareness. And that's part of like knowing yourself, right? Self-awareness. Like if you don't know yourself, if you don't know how you learn, if you don't know your habits, your all these different traits about yourself, like knowing yourself, then it is going to be difficult and challenging to level up faster. But that's part of doing the inner work, right? That's part of your mindset, right? Jackie says measures exact DFT placement of top performer. And you know what? I'm pretty sure someone does that. So, but yeah, going back to Sam Walton, right? Like he was a student. He's a student, always learning. All right, how can I apply this? How can I get better? How can I improve like what I'm already doing? Same thing with you, right? Same exact thing. Okay. So, skill set. Skill set is like, your skills, like how like your strengths, your weaknesses, the things that you are good at, things that you do, okay? The things that you are doing. Every single person here on this call today is a content creator. Okay? Why? And every business owner, right? Eventually in the future, every business owner is going to become a content creator, right? And even like the companies that are in the billions, they're actually asking themselves the same thing. They're like, we're kind of like, we got to do the social media thing. We don't know how. All we've done was we've built offline. We've built through word of mouth. We've built through like traditional advertising methodologies before. Like all these different things are now trickling in because what's going to happen, and which everyone's already seeing in the market, is content creators, big brands online are now taking over old traditional businesses that have not adapted. They haven't gone on social media. So that's super huge. For everyone here, if you would like to position yourself as a social media expert for these big like companies, you can do that, right? There are 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, just kids starting off in social media as their business. And they're actually getting hired by people who don't know anything, right? They don't know anything about social media, yet they're making multiple millions of dollars. Guess what? It's just because they haven't just learned and adapted. That was it. And there's belief systems, there's, the mindset, skill set, and tool set, all that stuff. Okay. So skills, like your skills are so important to just master and to always improve on every single day and to get better at. And when it comes to your skills, like we're going to apply this to the 7-day cycle. Okay. Tool set, your tool set, like for us, all of us, our phone. Okay. Our phone is our tool set. That's one tool. The camera that we have here is a tool. Okay. This microphone that we have right here, $20 microphone, it's been like with us since Fire Hour 20, like season one. This microphone is a tool, okay? And a great ROI for that. This laptop, tool. Your chargers, tool. Hard drives, tool, okay? Pen, tool. All these things, okay? Whatever you have that's helping you succeed in your goals and dreams, okay? Get you like one step closer to your vision. Tools. You have to have the right tools, okay? So in the media, like the media department that I had, like the meeting I had, I talked about these three things: mindset, skill set, tool set. Every single day, okay? Every single day, you are working on one of these things. Okay. You might touch all three in one day. When you work on your mindset, you are sharpening, you are getting better. When you work on your skill set, you're actually doing the work. You're doing the work, whatever that work entails for you. You are doing the work, you are sharpening your skill set. Whenever you are using your tools, your tool set, like you're using that, you're getting better, you're understanding, all right, how does this work? What's the best way I can use this? What is the most optimal? Do I need to get a new tool? Do I need to replace this? Do I need to add on to my tool set? What is it? You're asking yourself these questions. When it comes to tools, it's about, to me, it's about availability bias. Okay. Nico says resourcefulness. Yeah, you got to be resourceful too. If you lack the capital, the financial capital to attain whatever tools you need, or mindset, skill set, whatever, like you have to become resourceful. That's your greatest. The resourcefulness is your greatest resource.
It's your
Okay.
greatest asset, I would
Yeah.
say. Like,
Yeah.
even if you have the money or you have people investing, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the more resourceful you can be, the further you're going to get. Like,
Yeah.
if you get $1 and you could spend that dollar to make yourself $10 as opposed to $2 or $3, you're already ahead. And that's what I see most like rookie entrepreneurs, like the mistakes that they make is they're constantly spending money. They just cannot spend more, like they just keep spending and spending and spending. But the problem is not always the amount of money you're spending to fix a problem if the problem is still not fixed. It's your mindset that needs to get fixed. And with your mindset, it doesn't take any money. It only takes a level of awareness to understand that it's your mindset that needs to get fixed. Anyone these days can make money. Like you can make money off your phone. You don't even have to have like the greatest or the newest phone. Like if you have a phone, you have Wi-Fi, you have internet connection, that is enough for you to make money. But if you're not making money just simply using your phone and you're constantly adding, expenses, then it's not your tools. It's not your skill set, right? It's your mindset because sometimes you have the skill set, you just don't have the mindset. And so you kind of just pile things on top as opposed to actually do the actual work. Being resourceful, like I still stay resourceful. If I can get it for free, I'm going to get it for free. If I could get it for a reduced cost, I'm going to get it for a reduced cost. It doesn't matter what net worth you're at. You always need to stay resourceful. I read an article literally like yesterday or 2 days ago about a person who makes, I don't know, 8 figures a year. Their business generates 8 figures a year and they still negotiate. Like they still negotiate and they're still resourceful when it comes to even purchasing the smallest things. Why? It's a skill set. It's a skill set to be able to negotiate and to be resourceful because whatever habit you have, you're going to take with you in every level that you get to, right? So I can't, Nico, like I thank so much for bringing that up because I cannot stress resourcefulness like enough. I came from nothing. Like my parents were in bankruptcy and foreclosure. We lost our house. We only could afford free lunches and thrift store closed once a year. And it was only one piece. Like, but it's like that did not stop me to get where I am today. And it's because my parents taught me how to be resourceful, how to work with what I have, and how to be okay with having a lot less than what everyone else around you has, right? So it doesn't matter what you have or what you don't have. It's about like your mindset and what you can do with your mindset because your brain is so powerful. Like we actually don't even use 100% of our brains, right? So ask yourself questions. Do I really need that to make money? The answer probably is no. Like it's usually your mindset that needs to change, right? So thanks for bringing that up. It's so important. And I just wanted to stress that.
That's really good. And it's true. And when you get resourceful, you unlock creativity, right? I remember when I had no money and I was out there networking with millionaires. And that's how I built my personal brand. And I called it high status networking. And I'm the like brokest person in the room. Yeah, I'm surrounded with people who are making millions of dollars. And I got myself around people who had that stuff. But I'm bringing to the table something that they may not know, such
Value.
as social media, right? Which is value, right? So it just like anyone can be in any room. It doesn't matter your financial status in life. Like as long as you are, in my opinion, a good person, right? And you are there to like really give, be a giver, not a taker. Because there's going to be a point where like the 50-50 trade-off is going to happen, obviously, but you got to give first to receive. Okay. And in the way that you want best for yourself. But it just depends on like what you want to do. Depends on how you do it. Depends on how creative you are and how resourceful you are. And there's no limit. Like you only limit yourself. So is that good? Okay. I just want to make sure. So 7-day cycle. Okay.
You know what else I wanted to add? Skill set.
Yes.
When you said skill set and you were like, what are you good at? Here's the thing, sometimes you might not even know what you're good at because it's so natural to you. Like it's so natural and so normal to you. Like all of us writing is so natural and so normal, right? Like it's just instinctual. So sometimes you might not even know what your skill set is, and that's okay. Ask 2 to 3 people around you that's really close to you that observes you and ask them like, hey, if you were to name like 1 or 2 things about me, like what am I really good at? Like what do you see that I'm good at that you think is different from, other people that you observe?
Mhm.
So sometimes you might lack the awareness of your skill set just because it's so instinctual. Ask the people around you, like, hey, what do you think I'm good at? So I
Oh
just
yeah.
wanted to add that because actually, I didn't know I was good with money
Oh.
until Jackie and Sissy told me that.
Oh yeah. I remember you
And
saying that.
I was already in my late 20s, early 30s.
That's good. No, but that's
So
feedback.
I lacked awareness in that.
Yeah. And so Peter Drucker, right? He says like to use feedback analysis, right? Feedback analysis from his book Managing Oneself. He says that every single person has blind spots. And in order to see your blind spot, you have to ask for feedback, right? It's from someone else's perspective of your strengths, your weaknesses, like what you excel in, what you don't excel in, etc. It's just feedback, it's data, right? It's insight for you that leads to foresight because that cuts your learning curve, which makes you go faster. Okay. So that right there, like, is huge. And like, that's why, like, going back to like knowing yourself and being self-aware about your strengths, your weaknesses, like what you want, where you want to go, like your vision, all this stuff matters. Because if you want to unlock speed, you have to know where you're going and you have to know how you get there yourself, how you operate.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the mindset, skill set, tool set. Okay. Having those three things like on lock. So the 7-day cycle, right? I wrote it out. I'm just going to show you guys. Okay. It's just going to be easier. 7-day cycle. Can you guys see that?
Closer, just a little bit. There you go.
Because I can't see. So,
And now here.
so 7-day cycle. Monday, okay. Monday is implementation. Okay. It's implementing a new, okay. The whole goal of this, of the 7-day cycle, is to find the winning idea. Okay. As fast as humanly possible. Find the winning idea as fast as humanly possible. You can do it in one day. Like, you can do that, but I'm gonna just extend it per week so that way, um, it's something that you should incorporate. I encourage every entrepreneur to incorporate in their business. Okay. So you can really incorporate this in marketing. And so you have an idea on Monday. Okay. So you implement the idea. Okay. Implement the idea on Monday. Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're testing. Like, those days are just testing the idea. Like, it's out in the market's giving you feedback. The market is like, you're gathering data and insights. Okay. All of this is to unlock speed. Friday, okay, on Friday, you review the data, obviously, okay? And then Saturday, based on the data that you collected over the week, you create a new test, okay? You create a new test because the whole goal is just to see what idea wins, right? And by wins, like, let me just define it real quick. This is in the context of business, okay? Let's talk about marketing. In the context of marketing, all right, just to make it very specific, and then you can extrapolate this idea, this framework, and apply it to whatever area in your life. So in business and in marketing, specifically in your content creation, okay, the goal is to find a winning content campaign. Okay. So for everyone who hasn't heard this yet, like, when it comes to marketing, this is just my philosophy. So I'm gonna go real quick. This is just my steps I do. Okay, for any business, all right, who wants consulting, marketing strategy, marketing content campaigns, and then just feedback, data, seeing what works, doubling down on what works. Okay, like, I just 10x the results or 10x the efforts on the content campaigns that work. That's it. All right, and it starts with paid. It starts with free. Okay, free organic social media marketing. All right. So when it comes to like, and I'm gonna start to build out Resurreccion Media's Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna be shooting content for that. So if you want to see that live, you want to see how I do this cycle live, then you'll be able to see that on the Instagram, um, on the Resurreccion Media Instagram specifically. But when it comes to this, like, your idea, the 7-day cycle, okay, like marketing specifically with content, right? On Monday, you implement. So on Monday, you think of a content idea that you think, like, this is going to you're going to reach people, it's going to convert into leads, and it's going to convert into revenue. Okay. So I'm posting out one piece of content on Monday. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm seeing the insights. Okay. I'm seeing the insights. I'm like, all right, is this working? Is this not working? Like, what am I gathering from the data, from people commenting, DMing, sharing, saving, etc., all that stuff. Okay. Then on Friday, I'm reviewing the insights. Okay, I'm like, all right, like, what worked, what didn't work, what do I like about it, what do I not like about it, what does the market think? And then on Saturday, you're creating a new idea based on that data. And then on Sunday, like, I'm just gonna say Sunday you rest. Okay, like, because this is something new that I'm implementing as well, is I'm intentionally doing my best to rest and not to work, but I am getting prepared because it's important to be prepared every day. And so, especially like being able to understand, like, what, I'm a human being. I don't want to burn out. I know that my energy is finite, and if I continue to push like super hard, then I am eventually going to like shut down. I'm eventually going to have to rest even longer than I don't want to, right?
Yes.
So Sunday I added this. This is new, but I added Sunday as rest. Okay.
Rest is a part of work, okay?
But it
So
is, yes.
rest is a part of work. If you think about it, when you're resting and you're not like in your mind thinking, right? Or like in front of a computer, like absorbing like knowledge, information. Like when you're just like, you know what? Like I'm going to check out. Most of the time, when you allow your mind, your body, and your nervous system to rest, ideas start to flow through.
Yeah.
You actually start to connect with like a higher level of yourself, right? But sometimes you get so um, messy in things, you get so into things, you forget to look back and look on over, right? So like that's sometimes what a business owner faces is if you're in the day-to-day operations, you're constantly in, constantly moving, always needing to make sure things are happening at the right time,
Yeah.
right? You're not able to see on your business. You're not able to see over your business, right? Because you're so in it, you can't push it away to be able to be like, hey, this is what's happening. There's some pieces that need to be moved around, or this is what's going on. You can't see it. And it's not that you don't have the skill set or mindset, or maybe even the tool set. It's just that you have to rest. You have to relax. You have to reset your nervous system, your mental, and your physical to become at its peak in order to be able to push through again, right?
Yeah.
If you're constantly going, you're not going to take the time to be able to think. You're not going to allow these ideas. Like think about some of the times when these ideas floated through your mind so seamlessly. You just kind of downloaded it, right? Like you connected and you just downloaded it. Then you were able to, okay, come Monday, I'm going to implement that. But it wouldn't have come through if you were constantly absorbing information in your system and like working, right? So rest is just as important as anything and everything else because we're humans, right? Like we have a physical human aspect to us. We need to eat, we need to sleep, we need to, drink water, we need to move our physical body, we need to do things that make us happy to remind us why we do what we do. So
Yeah, and you know what? Like that's like it's super important. That's actually like that is intentional. Like rest and recovery, right?
yeah.
Like recovery. Okay, let's just 1 minute. Recovery. Like the reason why I personally like to take Thrive is because it helps me with recovery. It helps me with health. It helps me with being like my mental is sharper, okay? And so recover like meditation, same thing. Like meditation is rest and recovery. And there's even a lot more benefits as well. But when it comes to like you as an entrepreneur, like you are an athlete, you're on your legacy run. So you have to be like recovered as fast as humanly possible in order to perform at your extreme levels, right? So that's super important. So that's great. Good insight.
I was actually talking to a female stockbroker yesterday. We were talking about rest and recovery as well.
There's a really good video on this topic on YouTube. Has like 1 million views, and this is from someone that's vetted. And I know that when it comes to peak performance, like focus, productivity, and really like being able to go at extreme levels as an entrepreneur, because this is the video is specifically about entrepreneurship and how you can recover faster and rest, so you can focus, you can get into your flow state and really unlock your best. Okay, so rest and recovery, that's part of that process right there. It's super important. So Angela says you got to slow down to speed up, but you can't stay still too long. Know when to get up and get the job done. Yes, and that's 100% true.
Yeah.
100% true. So this right here, the 7 day cycle, right? Like the reason why Monday, this some people will ask this, like what, like, when do I create the idea, right? Like, and even like why is the idea implemented on day one? It's because you gotta put the idea out there into the universe to test it to see what happens, right? So Monday is intentional. Like you create your idea, whenever you create the idea, okay? Monday, implement it right away. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's out there in the market. Test.
Yeah.
Friday, review your data. Saturday, and then after you review the data, like you can create a new test right away, right? And then Saturday essentially is just create new tests, and then when Monday comes, then test it out there again. Okay, you can do this in one day. All right, I just want to give you the whole 7 day cycle. Sunday is rest and recovery, but you can do this every day. So what I'm going to be doing, my goal is for content creation is to literally like ramp up as fast as humanly possible. And my goal is to find the winning content campaigns that's simple, duplicatable, and scalable, and actually converts. Okay. And so that's what I'm going to be doing on Resurrection Media's Instagram. And this is something that like I did before, but now I'm going to do it with more intentionality and purpose and just a lot more knowledge and wisdom and experience. And it's gonna be super simple and fun. And I'm doing my best to keep it fun for myself because it gets boring sometimes. But Angela says, every time I come home from an event, I don't work at all. I align my home first, the rest follows. I set boundaries and say no. It's okay to say no. Exactly. And that's true. For you yourself, you have to know your boundaries. Like you have to know when to say yes and when to say no. And it's a privilege to say no, especially when it comes time to you like in a different position. Okay. Like you actually earn the right to say no.
Yeah.
In like I know that like that's very general and blanket statement, but I'm talking about like if you think about it, like for yourself, like you work so hard, you work a decade of your life, you work a decade trying to get your goals and dreams, and you finally get them. And now you're in a position where you're like, you know what? I don't have to go networking. I don't have to say yes to this podcast. I don't have to say yes to going on stage. I don't have to say yes to doing this. I don't have to say yes to doing that. I can say no, right? That right there, you have now as a leader and someone who has worked for a decade, right, or more. Now you're finally in a position for yourself where it feels good to say no, I'm good. It feels good to say no, I don't need to go there. It feels good to say no, I don't have to go on that podcast. It feels good to say no, I don't have to go on that stage. It feels good to say no to something you don't want to do because you don't have to do it, right? So that right there, obviously, like being in a position of whatever that goal is for you, that success, like that's great. It's empowering, right? And it is okay to say no. And even if you're in a position where you feel like you have to say yes, like you don't have to. Like who says you have to, right? It just depends on your situation. But for the most part, like you are in control of your destiny. You are in control of your life. Everyone here, you're a leader. You decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Okay. Um,
It's especially great to say no when you're working with someone that you don't want to work with, right?
oh,
Like
facts, yeah.
I've been in the sales business for almost my entire life. It's a great skill set to learn anytime you're trying to make a little bit more money than what you're already making. And so when I was working with clients doing mortgages and selling houses, like it's great to say no. Like it's great to want to make that commission, but at the same time, if you know you're going to deal with someone throughout a really lengthy process and very like intimately, very like close, if you're not getting along with them, they're not getting along with you, you guys have different views, you guys just don't get along, like why would you beg for them to stay? Like why would you beg a client, a customer, or an employee to stay if clearly things aren't working out? Like it's nothing personal. It's just that they would probably work better with someone else and you would probably work better somewhere else. So instead of using 10x your efforts on one person, why not use 10x your efforts on 10 other people that get you and that you get, and it's seamless, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I learned because before I had such a hard time saying no, and I would just put up with clients and I would just put up with people just to make that sale, right? And it was so painful though. It was so draining. And what did I have left for other people or for my home when I went home? I had nothing. I was burnt out. And guess what? You turn around and sometimes you project that energy onto the people around you when it wasn't even about those other people. It was about like the friction that you had with a customer or like an employee, right? So saying no is okay. Like letting go faster to be able to move on to something that's more seamless and easier for you is probably going to be a lot better for you in the long run. Um, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like thinking about this psychologist that I had to work with from San Diego. It was so painful. I was just like, lady, I will pay your $700 appraisal fee and take that loss, but please, like I can't work with you anymore. And she literally begged me to finish her loan. Oh, it was so painful. And then I remember afterwards, like 4 months later, she wanted to refinance again, and she called me, and I was like, no, I can't.
That's okay. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so painful. And you guys, that's like, I don't know, like at minimum a $2,000 to $3,000 commission check, right? Like maybe five. Like it depends. If you're a pain in the butt, like, and you really want me to work with you, like I'm gonna upcharge you. for the energy and the time I have to spend with you. So that's like that in life, right? Like at the auto shop, if we have someone come through and they're really mean and like we're
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, take your business elsewhere, like, sorry, like we can't help you, right? It's a privilege and an honor to be able to say no to people that do not align with your values, because there's 10 other people right behind them waiting in line saying, I want the opportunity to work with you, or I want to be your customer, right? So where are you going to spend your time and your energy?
Yeah, exactly. It's just so true. Like, yeah, Angela says, have standards. I turned away crazy customers. I messaged support and told them to get them out of my system. I know my worth, go elsewhere. Yeah, and that's true. Right? Like you gotta it's okay to turn business away. Hi. You guys good? Okay. Verge says it's a skill to learn to read people and their intentions and abundance mindset for you to let go of what's not serving you. It allows what's for you to flow into your life. Exactly. And it's important, like it really is important to know your worth, right? And to know that, you don't like you really don't have to put up with people, okay, that you don't want to be like doing business with, right? Abry says, I was a part of I was a part business owner of a pizza place. I didn't like the vision of one of my partners. Reassessed the numbers, comparing my effort, stress against our profit. It wasn't worth it for me, so I pulled my share and left the business. Good on you. Good job. Like that right there it's about alignment, right? If you don't feel aligned, like there's definitely no way that a business is going to scale. There's definitely no way that it's going to go far and even like hit the vision that you yourself align with. So that was a really good decision. Like that's great. That's great insight right there, right? So, and that's as a leader, as an entrepreneur, everyone here, like it's important that you have your vision. Remember in the beginning of this episode, right? Know where you are going. Like, what is that vision for you? What is your mission? What is your purpose? Why are you doing something, right? Ask yourself the why. If you haven't seen that video from Simon Sinek, right? He talks about why, right? That right there is such a powerful video when you look at it. When I first learned about it in 2013, like I kind of dismissed it because I was like, I get the point. But when I looked at it again as a business strategist, it's so completely different. It's completely different. So I encourage everyone to watch that again and to really know it. But with that said, okay, um, I put into ChatGPT. Does everyone like? Does this make sense for the 7-day cycle? Right? I might have to just call it the 7-day cycle.
I know. I feel like it just only makes sense to call it the 7-day cycle because it's literally going over 7 days, and a cycle is like something that starts over again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyone else come with any other catchy names for this?
Nico says someone said start with the truth because you'll end up there anyways. And that someone was me. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but that's the fastest shortcut, right? Is the truth. All right. So, okay. So I put into ChatGPT, right? I just basically asked it like to give me frameworks, right? Like terms, and it came out with a list. There's 20 people, 20 names, and then we'll end it. They say test week, fast 7, quick week, trial run, speed week, action 7, rapid run, boost week, test cycle, short loop, fast flow, fast try, 1 week test, swift cycle, try week, simple 7, quick loop, speed cycle, trial 7, snap week. What the heck?
I kind of liked Auction 7 or Simple 7, but I think 7-day cycle is cool too.
Yeah, I think 7-day cycle wins right now. So, anyways, like the 7-day cycle, like use this framework, right? Use this framework. Simple 7. Nico says he likes Simple 7.
Debbie,
Simple 7. I'm
what
gonna
did
write.
you do?
I'll make a note of that.
What did you do?
Okay, so when it comes to your frameworks, right? Whatever it is for you, okay? Like start to create, like formulate your ideas, and after you test it, like you'll like realize the pattern that works. And then from there, when you realize the pattern, like coin it, okay, term it, make it a methodology, make it a framework, like call it something, like brand it, like name it, okay? Name it something that will help you unlock that insight, help you unlock the speed that you need to implement. Okay, it's all about implementing the ideas as fast as humanly possible, gathering like the data, the results, and then recreating it until it becomes like the best thing that you can possibly make. And then from there, move on to the next. Because this right here, the 7-day cycle, is all about just implementing your ideas and seeing what works fastest. And then from there, going to the next idea and stacking it. Okay. What's going to happen? here, baby. What's gonna happen for me is with Resurrection Media, I'm just gonna share because then it's documented. I'm gonna be creating multiple different like content campaigns and testing it. I'm gonna be putting it out to the market. I'm gonna be doing the 7-day cycle framework literally, and then I'm gonna see what works, and then I'm gonna double down on it. And then once I find that, I'm gonna move on to the next, and I'm gonna keep on going like that. Same thing with all the companies that I'm working with, all of it. It's the same exact thing. It's implementing the marketing ideas as fast as humanly possible, and then from there, getting the results, and that's it. So, like when it comes to unlocking speed, like whatever it is that you have to do for your business or your life, right? If you got to get a nanny, like work on that. If you have to get new tools, work on it. If you have to acquire new skills, work on it. If you have to like read more books or get around different people, different levels of people, like do that, right?
If you
Sharpen.
have an idea and you want to put it into action right away. This is speed, right? Like this is an idea. This was an idea 3 months ago, 3 months ago. And now look at where it's at. This is the US and this is the UK, right? And so just like in all of our businesses, in this business, in Thrive, success loves speed, right? And the faster you can implement from an idea to action to execution to moving quickly and to doing just everything that you need to every single day, something like this can happen in a matter of 3 months. So
All those hearts are people across the world.
it's people and yoga studios that are going to participate in our mass meditation virtually and in person on November 17th. And this was done by like practically one person. One person, okay? Speed, speed, speed.
Fire. I love that. Okay, so yeah, November 17th, like for those of you who are interested, Amplify Love for the Love Tower. Like this is going to be can you actually share a little bit more?
So we're basically doing a mass meditation. There's a lot of yoga studios. Obviously, you saw like across the US and Europe and Australia that are participating. And so it's virtual. It could be live streamed, or you can go to a yoga studio that's participating, or even do it yourself in your home and invite people over. But that's what speed is, right? And that was one person. So you have the power and the opportunity to be able to do anything you want. Like any one of us can create a massive momentum, right? But it starts with maybe a 7-day cycle, your mindset, your skill set, your tool set, right? What are you doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? One person can create massive momentum and speed through things, right? So I just want to encourage you guys because each one of you, you're so unique in the way of how you live and who you are. Don't doubt yourself. Always believe that you can do this. If you see other people that are able to do something like this and create such an impact, you are able to as well, right? Like I think for all of us that have been here for like the last, 4, 5, 6 years, we've seen that. We've probably touched every single state and a few countries all around the world, right? Like, but it's mindset and then your skill set. Then what tools do you have? And then really taking the time every single day to be able to do something. So
Okay, we're gonna end the call. Say fire hour. Damn it. I think she wants some attention right now. Can you say fire hour? Can you say fire hour? Can you say believe in yourself?
you went from long to longer.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. So you could wrap up your 7-day cycle.
Yeah. So Nico says I like simple 7 because it's an alteration and then it is simple. Implement, gather, review, rest, repeat. Nice. Simple 7. Simple 7. Use that. Use that. Boom. Simple 7. Okay. So test your ideas. 7 no more. Test your ideas and freaking dominate. All right. Crush it. Oh, alliteration, not alteration. Okay, got it. Alliteration.
Love you guys.
All
I
right.
gotta get going.
Yeah, have an amazing day. Crush it, dominate your path. Make it happen. We'll see you on the next episode. Okay, love you all. Peace out.